Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and I'm so thankful to have you here with me today. My name is Ethan, and in this video I'll be doing a general collective energy reading. Please only take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Now, this reading is about knowing your worth, honoring your emotions, and finally leaving the past behind. You're not here because something went wrong. You're here because something better has aligned for your future. This is a turning point energy, a moment where the universe is gently but firmly saying that you can't carry the old version of you into the life that you're manifesting. We start the overall energy with the new moon in Taurus, Know Your Worth. This is a reset. The new moon in Taurus is asking you to rebuild your life from a place of self-worth rather than survival. Not fear, not scarcity, not a mentality of I'll take what I can get or it could be worse. Taurus rules value. Money, time, energy, love, and stability. And right now, this collective is realizing that if it costs me my peace, then it's too expensive. Maybe you stayed in a job that drained you because it felt safe, or in a relationship that didn't meet you emotionally because at least it was familiar. This card is saying that that version of you is done. Your affirmation for the new moon in Taurus is I know my worth and I no longer negotiate with it. The first quarter moon in Pisces, honor your feelings. This shows that as soon as you start moving forward, emotions will start to rise. Pisces energy says don't numb it, don't rush it. Don't gaslight yourself out of what you feel. Your feelings are valid, and they're not slowing you down, they're pointing you in the right direction. If something feels heavy, off, or draining, that's important information that you need to use as you move forward. If something feels expansive, exciting, or peaceful, then that's also information. Again, follow your gut. That's what the Pisces energy is all about, feelings and emotion. Your emotions guide you toward your truth. Finally, with the last quarter moon in Capricorn, leave the past behind. This is your release point. Capricorn energy is mature, grounded, structural, and intentional. This isn't an emotional breakdown ending, it's a conscious decision. You're leaving behind old survival patterns, overworking to prove your worth, carrying responsibilities that were never yours, or even just identities built from pressure, not purpose. This is you saying that I don't need to struggle to succeed anymore. Your affirmation for the last quarter moon in Capricorn is I release the past and choose a future aligned with my growth. Now moving into the Oracle guidance cards that I pulled to help this collective kind of move through the energy, we start with synchronicity, intuition, wisdom, and messages. So for this collective, there are signs everywhere right now, repeating numbers, overhearing random conversations, or being in the right place at the right time and having an important conversation with someone. Someone you're talking to may just say a keyword. They may read your mind without you having any explanation for it. Pay attention. You may be paying attention to song lyrics that just hit too close to home, or just random thoughts, intuitive downloads that keep coming up. This is the universe nudging you. So don't overanalyze the signs, feel into them. And personally, I have my own example that I wanted to bring up really quick. Over the summer, I was at work, and I was having a really spiritual morning. That's the best way I can put it. It was like everything was just really working out for me. I was finding money on the ground, and I was thinking about God, and I found a keychain on the ground that had the word creator on it. And so it reminded me, like, you're the creator of your own destiny. And I heard in my mind's eye, like in my mind, I heard, you are protected. Because I was overthinking a lot of things. Well, about 10 minutes later, I ran into the park director's dad. And the first thing that he told me is that I am protected at my job. Because there was some conflict drama going on behind the scenes. But that was a confirmation. That's the kind of synchronicity I'm talking about, where you might just think it, and then someone in your reality will say it. And again, I think that happened in May. So a little before the summer, but that has stuck with me. So that's just an example of what to look out for. Now, moving on to the opportunity card, manifesting discernment and discipline. Opportunities are opening, but here's the key. Not every opportunity is aligned. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. So before taking on an opportunity, ask yourself, does this honor my worth? Does this support my peace? And does this align with the future I'm building? You need to choose opportunities that match your value. Finally, with the Take Flight card, Transformation, Exploration, and Adventure, once you choose yourself, the universe responds fast. This could look like a new offer, a sudden shift, a bold decision, a leap that feels scary, but intuitively you know it's right. This is expansion energy. You were never meant to stay where you are. You're meant to, grow and expand and transform. That's all part of growth. So, again, it can be scary to step outside of what you know, but it's kind of like the big risk, big reward, that mentality. So take flight. I hope that made sense. I was trying to go along, I got a little tongue-tied there. Now moving into the tarot cards that I pulled to clarify this overall collective energy, we start with the Two of Arrows and the Six of Arrows. So this indicates that you've been stuck in your head, weighing options, or just avoiding a choice. You're at a crossroads. But you need to remember that peace doesn't come from thinking, it comes from moving. You don't need every answer to take the first step, but you also don't want to get trapped in analysis paralysis, if that makes sense. Now the Four of Cups and the Ten of Arrows indicates that something once felt fine, but now it's unbearable. There's apathy, there's dread, emotional misalignment. So this isn't a cruel ending, it's a necessary ending. The universe is saying that you won't choose better until you stop tolerating less. The Ace of Pentacles in Death indicates a real, tangible new beginning, but only after a full release with that Ten of Arrows. This could be a new job, a new path, a new foundation, or just a new identity. This is not a small change, it's a transformation, it's a rebirth. And don't be afraid to try something new, be creative with it. Just because you might set an intention towards something, it doesn't mean that you have to stay in that, energy or that identity forever. It's kind of like if you were to dye your hair. You can dye your hair, and it won't last forever. Unless you want it to, then you can, keep dyeing it. But it's just a season, and it's okay to try new things. Moving on to the Page of Arrows and Judgment, this is a conversation or a message or just a realization that wakes you up. You're seeing yourself clearly, and you're answering the call. This is your moment of truth. And with that Page of Arrows, again, that goes along with the Synchronicity card where I talked about gathering information or just having, like I said with the park director's dad, him confirming what my guides already told me intuitively. Things like that. You'll know. And keep in mind, this reading may not resonate for everyone. This is for a specific collective. Now moving into the Eight of Wands, this shows that once you commit, things will move fast. It'll be like a quantum leap. Momentum will build, doors will open, and the synchronicities will multiply. The High Priestess and the Magician shows that you already know what to do. You have the resources, you have the tools, you have the knowledge, experience, you have the foundation, the background, you have what you need. On the surface, it may not look like you have actual physical tools, but your brain is a tool. Your emotions are a tool. With that first quarter in Pisces, honor your feelings. Your feelings are a guide, they're a compass. So don't overlook it. But intuition plus your action, that is the manifestation. So make sure that you have clarity and that you're setting clear intentions. Now the outcome for this spread, for this collective, is the Nine of Cups. So this is emotional fulfillment, contentment, and alignment. Not because life is perfect, but because you chose yourself. And keep in mind, it won't happen overnight. This is a journey. And there will be ups and downs, highs and lows, days where you just don't feel committed, days where you're asking yourself, like, why am I doing this? What's the point? But eventually, it will all come together. It'll make sense. In my own life, I found that with divine timing and the synchronicities, things from my past have foreshadowed my future in really unexplainable ways where intuitively I know that they're connected, but looking from the outside in, other people would not be able to tell that they're connected, if that makes sense. If you know, you know. So, the final message here is that you didn't lose anything, and you did not fail, and you didn't fall behind either. You're leveling up. What ended was built on who you had to be. What's beginning is built on who you are. And keep in mind, depending on whatever circumstances that you're in, even if you feel like the universe is kicking you down in the dirt, always remember that flowers grow from the dirt. Like, I just tell myself that. It may just be dirty, you may be like covered in mud, a bad season, but the flowers will come up again. You don't have to give up. So, if this message resonated, just take a moment to ground yourself, hydrate, I always like to say that, hydrate, and reflect on what you're ready to release. You are exactly where you need to be. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.